Hello, it's Kristen Hayward here, aka the Gift Spotter. I've invited Cooper to the Gift Spotter couch because I want him to share his gifts with you. Cooper!
Kristen.
I do of course have a very good idea about what your gifts are, but I'd like to hear you say them. What do you think, well let's just start with one. What do you think is a gift that you have, that you'd like to share?
As of lately,
Yeah.
I think I've been dwelling into a lot of philosophy in relation to even human existence, but obviously that's very broad, but I won't dissect that down. But yeah, philosophy.
Well actually, you know what, I'm going to get you to dissect it a little.
I guess query the themes and nature of certain people. That can range from certain traits people possess or even ways of behaving.
So you're really quite deeply into human behaviour?
Yeah, you can say so, yeah.
I've heard some remarkable quotes from Cooper that I've actually used in my work. So do you want to share one of your favourites?
One quote that's, I guess, stood out to me a lot is in the form of a magpie. Sees something shining in the mud, has no need for the silver, but he takes it anyway.
And I guess what you're saying is that we have a lot of things that we don't need. Is that right? Is that why that quote strikes a chord with you?
Yeah, that's exactly why actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Using an analogy that doesn't actually involve humans, rather involving for example, a magpie, known to be, quite greedy creatures, I guess. And then, metaphorically comparing that to human greed is kind of opens up to people a little more.
Wow. This is why I really think that we should be listening to our young people more. I think, we shuffle them off to school and we say, here, learn the curriculum, and this sort of stuff, philosophy, isn't on your curriculum, is it?
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's not.
And if it was on your curriculum, I imagine you would have thrived.
Hopefully, yeah.
In a subject like that.
Ideologically, yeah.
So, let me ask you this, given that you are into philosophy and you enjoy, human behaviour, just like I do. Do you think there is a lack of listening? Or is that a leading question?
Well, a lack of listening, yeah, most definitely I would agree on that. I feel like the, set fixed curriculum in school is, obviously the teachers have to go by all the guidelines and teach the students what the Department of Education or NESA asks them to be taught. But I do agree that a lot of kids have certain talents, and I do believe that those talents aren't actually able to be shown. And I kind of think of it, like a chess game, and students are, I guess, the pawns of everything, and the people up top just move them around. We're very insignificant and all that. But that's just one of my beliefs. So.
Wow, I've certainly never heard that, to be a pawn rather than be a significant player, and it affects your life. So what I hear you saying then is that we've got all these talented kids at school, but their talents aren't really showing up at school.
The marks that students are given, for hard work, you could do really well theoretically in a, assessment. Think you do really well. It's happened a multitude of times to me. I think I've done really well. I've even, attempted to a high degree to follow the specific guidelines that they want me to follow in order to achieve high results. But then it comes to a, huge surprise to me that I don't get high results. Why? Because I'm not abiding by, what they want me to abide by. And that kind of, in a way, restricts students' potential to, I guess, strive and be unique. It's all kind of, everyone needs to be the same, everybody's graded, and to me it just feels like a whole big competition now. It's like, it's not really learning anymore, it's more, competition.
Yeah, well, so I guess you could put in your essay and there could be something in there that's like beautiful and unique and a piece of philosophy in an English essay, but you're not marked on that piece of art.
Yeah.
Is that right?
They basically brush it aside and go to what the syllabus or curriculum for that particular subject says, and just disregard everything that you uniquely wrote.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that, and I want to say that I see you, and that I've known you for some time, and your ability to I guess break down human behaviour, and to be a great observer, I guess, of human nature, is strikingly, I guess, strong at such a young age. Given this talent that you've got, can I ask you, what do you think is the biggest problem that we are faced with right now?
One of the, I guess, contemporary issues that crosses my mind a lot is, I guess, conflict in general. Every now and then, when you're on social media, I'll see like a video of, it's not the most, kid-friendly one. It might contain a little bit of gore, but it kind of allows you to empathize with whoever that is going through that, terrible time, going through war even. And I guess conflict is a contemporary issue that I don't think will ever be resolved.
Really? And it bothers you because you're seeing it on social media, and I imagine because we're not in war here in Australia, so you're seeing the wars in other countries, and that actually bothers you, the conflict bothers you.
Well, yeah, and even, I'm extremely grateful to be living in a country like Australia, that the reactions that people give, I just feel like they can't empathize at all with the things that some people go through on a daily basis. And I guess it's disappointing to see.
Well, here you are, you've got a young man in Australia in a safe, great family, a wonderful environment, who's, when I ask what the issue is with humanity, he's talking about wars on the other side of the world. You can see how smaller the earth is becoming because of technology and social media. And you know what? I am happy to hear that war bothers you, because it would be devastating to hear that war doesn't bother you. And there's plenty of people that block their ears and pretend that it's not existing, or make, as you say, those comments. So I guess those are beautiful clues to your true nature.
Touching on the topic about war, it's, when I said probably never end, I really mean that, but the prospect of war the prospect of peace is to make the element of war or conflict seem hopeless. And that I just don't believe it can happen anymore, every day.
Well, it's an interesting one, because human beings, as you probably know, we've got our authentic self, this is our true nature, then we've got our ego self. Each human being has an ego and an authentic self. The authentic self, which one's going to war, the authentic or the ego?
Ego.
The ego's going to war, isn't it? So we need to understand, and I believe we need to educate our young people What is the ego? How do we know that we are acting from ego, which is fear, or how we're acting from our authentic self, which has its basis in love? How do we know? If we're acting from our ego, then we're competitive, then we want to be better than somebody else, we want power over, we want control, there's greed. Perhaps if we teach this to our young and we get people to understand how to get back into their authentic self so they can live, find their true nature, they can live their true purpose. But as you would know, being in war isn't anyone's true purpose, is it?
No, it isn't.
So when you say that you don't believe that can happen, I'm a little bit more hopeful than you. And I think education's the key, but perhaps you'd hear that coming from an educator, I don't know. Cooper, it's always delightful talking to you because I learn something every single time and I love to learn. So thank you for joining me in this Gift Spotter talk.
Thank you, Kristen.